You want to know what the most controversial issue in the entire Sonic franchise is? The pronunciation of the second zone in Sonic 3. Is it Hydrocity or Hydro City? It's spelled as one word, so I always lean towards Hydrocity, but it makes a whole lot more sense if it's pronounced Hydro City, because the stage is this underwater ruined city. However, it could be that it's pronounced Hydrocity as a pun on the word velocity, since, you're running really fast underwater, hydro and velocity. This has been a debate for years. In fact, it became so well known that it was even referenced in the Sonic comics. Sonic and Tails have a debate on the pronunciation of the zone's name, with Sonic claiming that it's pronounced Hydro City and Tails proclaiming that it's pronounced Hydrocity. This debate got so big that Sega themselves actually made a poll asking Sonic fans how they pronounced the name. It got nearly 100,000 votes, and it was an incredibly close race, nearly a 50-50 split, but Hydrocity managed to win with a 1% advantage. Someone actually asked Yuji Naka, one of the creators of Sonic, what the pronunciation was, and according to him, it's Hydro City. As for me, personally, I think it's pronounced Hydrocity. This is one of the many strange oddities surrounding the names of the various zones in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Another oddity is actually related to Hydrocity Zone, and that's single word zone names. So one common naming convention that the names in Sonic zones follow is that the names of the zones are two words. For example, Green Hill, Dry Lagoon, Rooftop Run, Starlight Carnival, Chaos Island, and so on. However, you occasionally get zones like Hydrocity that don't follow this trend, and they instead use one word. This is pretty uncommon, and a lot of the time that it happened was in the older Sonic games. For example, Marble Zone, Labyrinth Zone, and Final Zone are all from Sonic 1. In addition, Bridge Zone and Jungle Zone are from the 8-bit version of Sonic 1. There are some newer Sonic games that have one-word stage names, like Tokyo, the DLC level from Sonic X Shadow Generations, and Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed. Well, actually, now that I think about it, Sonic Unleashed is like 16 years old, so it's not exactly new. But speaking of Eggman Land, the noteworthy thing about this name is that it's two words put together, Eggman and Land. So it is kind of cheating to call it a one-word zone name. The same way that a lot of one-word zone names are just a word plus Opolis at the end, like Sandopolis from Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Westopolis from Shadow the Hedgehog. Or if the name already has an O at the end, you just add Polis at the end, like Studiopolis from Sonic Mania and Casinopolis from Sonic Adventure. It's no surprise that Green Hill has appeared in a ton of games. You all probably know it came back in Sonic Generations and Sonic Mania, but it also showed up in Sonic Blast on the Game Gear and Master System, Sonic Drift on the Game Gear, and Sonic 2 8-bit on the Game Gear and Master System. Kind of, because technically it's called Green Hills Zone, multiple here, not Green Hill Zone, singular. There are actually a number of Green Hill variants that have appeared throughout the franchise's history, like Mecha Green Hill from Sonic Chaos, which is a much deadlier, more robotic version of Green Hill, Neo Green Hill from Sonic Advance, which is Green Hill but with a bit more of a beach vibe, and Sunset Hill from Sonic Advance 3, which is Green Hill but at sunset. A minor change, but I think it adds a cool vibe to the stage. I wasn't the only one that liked the Green Hill at sunset vibe, because this same aesthetic would be reused in Sonic Rivals 2 with Sunset Forest Zone. It's essentially Green Hill at sunset, but with more trees. This Green Hill at sunset vibe would be reused again in Sonic 4 Episode 1. The third act of the first zone, Splash Hill, is essentially Green Hill but at sunset. This level introduces a new gimmick, zip lines, allowing Sonic to traverse long distances quickly. The sunset gimmick continues in the boss act of the zone, which is basically just the first boss of Sonic 1 with the addition of a second phase where Eggman tries to slam you with the Wrecking Ball. The series would reuse the Green Hill at sunset gimmick again in Sonic Mania, specifically the updated version of the game, Sonic Mania Plus. In the Encore mode of Sonic Mania Plus, the stages use different colors from their original versions in the Mania mode of the game. Green Hill Zone in the Encore mode is at sunset, and like Sonic 4 Episode 1, it also uses a zipline gimmick, but it's only in Act 2 of the zone. Green Hill Zone also appears in Sonic Blast, like I mentioned earlier, and one of the cool things that Sonic Blast did was that it used a neat naming scheme where its zone names all have colors in them. Green Hill is the first stage, then Yellow Desert, Red Volcano, Blue Marine, and finally Silver Castle. I really enjoy it when Sonic games use cute little naming themes for their levels, like how all of Sonic R's levels start with R at the beginning of their names. Resort Island, Radical City, Regal Ruin, Reactive Factory, and Radiant Emerald. Another cool naming theme is using alliteration for the level names, so that the first and second word of the zone name begin with the same letter or the same sound. Sonic CD has Palm Tree Panic, Collision Chaos, Tidal Tempest, Quartz Quadrant, Wacky Workbench, Stardust Speedway, and Metallic Madness. Knuckles Chaotix actually does the same thing. Botanic Base, Speed Slider, Marina Madness, Techno Tower, and Amazing Arena. Sonic 3D Blast does this too. Green Grove, Rusty Ruin, Spring Stadium, Diamond Dust, Volcano Valley, Gene Gadget, Panic Puppet, and even the final boss zone is called the Final Fight. Sonic Unleashed kind of has an alliteration thing going on with Jungle Joyride, Rooftop Run, Skyscraper Scamper, and even Savannah Citadel, which doesn't use the same letters for the first and second words, but they still use the same S sound. But for whatever reason, Sonic Unleashed only went halfway, since they also have levels without alliteration, like Windmill Isle, Dragon Road, Cool Edge, Arid Sands, and Eggman Land. Not really sure what went on there. Maybe they tried to do it, but halfway through they couldn't find names that fit while still keeping the alliteration. So you know what? I'm gonna do it for them. We can call Windmill Isle Windmill Wake. Since the stage is originally called Windmill Isle, I wanted to keep the reference to water in the name, and because a wake is the trail of water that's left behind by a boat moving through water, I thought it was pretty fitting. Also, Windmill Isle is the first stage of the game, so in a sense, this is the game waking up. It's the start of a new journey. Let's call Dragon Road Dragon Drive. Drives are basically the same things as roads. They're both used as a part of names for streets, like Rodeo Drive in California and Wall Street in New York. Let's call Cool Edge Polar Perimeter. I just used a synonym for cool and a synonym for edge, and I think it works pretty well. Another one I had for Cool Edge was Frigid Fringe, so let me know which one sounds better in the comments. Let's call Arid Sands Sun-Baked Sands. We do already have a stage with the S sound alliteration, that being Savannah Citadel, so for variety's sake, another name for Arid Sands that I came up with was Burning Bastion. The stage takes place in a hot desert town, so I think it fits well, and I think the name sounds really awesome too. Finally, there's Eggman Land. I mean, this stage name is so iconic that you really shouldn't change it, but if I had to give it a new name, I'd call it Eggman Empire. The Eggman Empire is what Eggman calls his forces, so I think it fits as a name for this level. While we're talking about eggs, there are actually quite a number of stages in the Sonic series that have egg in their names. Of course, there's Eggman Land from Sonic Unleashed and Death Egg from Sonic 2, but there's also Egg Rocket from Sonic Advance, Egg Utopia from Sonic Advance 2, Final Egg from Sonic Adventure, Egg Quarters from Sonic Adventure 2, Egg Fleet from Sonic Heroes, and Egg Reverie from Sonic Mania. There are also some really weird ones like Sleeping Egg and Electric Egg from Sonic Chaos, Crystal Egg from Sonic 2 8-Bit, and my personal favorite, which is also from Sonic 2 8-Bit, Scrambled Egg Zone. Man, now I'm hungry. You would think that in a series with an antagonist named Eggman that there'd be way more egg puns used for the names of stages, like how about a lava level called Fried Egg Zone, or a beach level called Eggshell Zone, or a dessert theme level called Egg Custard Zone. There actually is a pretty fun little play on words with a stage from Sonic Dream Team, and that's the last zone, Ego City. Ego sounds somewhat similar to egg, and Eggman has a huge ego, hence why he dreams of having a city made entirely in his image. You do have to wonder, with the absolutely absurd amount of named stages in the Sonic series, how does Sega keep track of them all? Is there like an internal spreadsheet at Sega of all the Sonic stage names so that they never accidentally reuse an old name? I mean, it did happen before with Rail Canyon. Most of you probably know it as a stage from Sonic Heroes, but it's also the name of a stage in Tails' Skypatrol, and I highly doubt that this was an intentional callback. It also happened another time with Sky Road. Sky Road is both a world in Sonic Lost World as well as a level in the Babylon story of Sonic Riders. Let's go over some really frequently used words in the zone names. Casino is really common. Here are some of them. Casino Night from Sonic 2, Casino Paradise from Sonic Advance, Casino Park from Sonic Heroes, Casino Street from Sonic 4 Episode 1, and Casino Forest from Sonic Forces. Another common one is Aqua. Here are some of them. Aqua Lake from Sonic 2 8-Bit, Aqua Planet from Sonic Chaos, Aqua Road from Sonic Forces, Aquatic Ruin from Sonic 2, Aquatic Base from Sonic 06, Aquatic Relics from Sonic Pocket Adventure, Aquatic Mine from Sonic Adventure 2, and Aquarium Park from Sonic Colors. Final is also quite common. Here are some of them. Final from Sonic 1, Final Egg from Sonic Adventure, Final Fortress from Sonic Heroes, Final Haunt from Shadow the Hedgehog, Final Rush from Sonic Adventure 2, Final Chase from Sonic Adventure 2, and Final Judgment from Sonic Forces. Sky is really common. Here are some of them. Sky Base from Sonic 1 8-Bit, Sky Chase from Sonic 2, Sky High from Sonic 2 8-Bit, Sky Sanctuary from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sky Deck from Sonic Adventure, Sky Rail from Sonic Adventure 2, Sky Canyon from Sonic Advance 2, Sky Babylon from Sonic Rush Adventure, Sky Park from Sonic Rivals, and Sky Troops from Shadow the Hedgehog. Also, I have to wonder, how many ruined ancient civilizations are there in the Sonic series? You've got Aquatic Ruin, Death Ruins, Desert Ruins, Regal Ruins, Rusty Ruin, like dang. This universe is just filled with an insane amount of death if you really think about it. Speaking of death, I think it's time I end the video. That's mostly everything I wanted to talk about anyway. If there's a weird or interesting zone name that I didn't talk about, feel free to tell me about it in the comments. If you're interested in watching more Sonic videos, here's a whole playlist of videos about the blue blur that I've done. That's all I've got to talk about for today though, so thanks for watching y'all, and have a great rest of your day.